Friday, on November 29th, Sue and I went to watch annual Christmas tree lighting event at Vancouver Art Gallery Plaza by accident. Do you know which one I'm talking about? Yeah, along that huge Christmas tree there. We were not planning to be there for the Christmas tree lighting event. I didn't even know there was such thing existed. So we were just taking a walk because we live in downtown, so that's kind of our what we usually do, a regular walking route from our place in English Bay area, and we go to Denman, and we go to Robson Street all the way up to Burrard, and then we cut across and we come back down to Davie Street. I think it's about 4 kilometers. We usually do that quite a lot, like about 4 or 5 times a week. And sometimes we stop by at YMCA to exercise, but since it was Black Friday, we thought, hey, there might be some bargains on Robson Street, right? Or downtown shopping malls. Not that we wanted to buy anything, but we just check it out, what people are up to on Black Friday, right? So we were, so Sue took me to downtown shopping mall near Robson Square, the shopping district, you know, where the near Microsoft building is. You know which one I'm talking about? Yes, we're building sciences at the bottom, said Nordstrom. Yeah, have you been there? Anybody been there? Yeah. Have you been inside? Okay, it's first time for me. I've been here for 2 years. The first time. It's a huge shopping mall. It's from the outside, you would know, but it's kind of stretching to 2 or 3 city blocks, like inside. All those expensive brand name stores inside. There are like millions of people there. Lot of people, a lot of young people, like 20 to 30 something. Very, very crowded. And so after about 5 minutes inside there, I just couldn't take it anymore because I have this like crowd kind of phobia. What do you call that? Claustrophobia, crowd phobia. It's kind of too many people there, and so after about 5 minutes, I wanted to come home. So I told Sue, let's come home. Let's all go to all winners store because that's what I shop. Right? Sue told me that I must tour the entire mall. So much to see. So took me to an inner area, and we went up and down and all the different places, and then finally she led me to this inner sanctum of a whole shopping mall. She said, you must see this. Most expensive part of shopping mall, where it says on the outside, hold Brantford. You know what? Yeah. It's on the entrance. You see that section of the mall. That section of the mall was different from the rest of the mall. It was like inside, decorated like a real winter wonderland, like with a snowy kind of white everywhere, except there were no white people inside. Only there were like full of Asians, like young Asians, like teens and 20s. And I'm like, I thought all the Asians supposed to be shopping in Metrotown Shopping Mall in Burnaby, or Richmond Center Shopping Mall, but it was full of young Asians right even there too. I didn't see a single young white kid there at all. And I thought, what is going on here? So I thought maybe there must be some huge bargain going on. Because I know that a lot of Asians like bargain. So I thought I would buy 1 or 2. So I looked at the price tag of cheap-looking pants on the rack. The label said 1000. So I thought, $10? No, $1000. So we quickly made our way out of that section of shopping mall altogether. I needed some fresh air. Back to reality, kind of cold reality. And heard street music, and saw a huge crowd watching band playing in front of the Vancouver Art Gallery. We didn't know what occasion it was. Just standing there with a crowd, and there's on the side there was a huge Christmas tree unlit. It was like totally dark, so I thought, that's odd. Why? So we were about to go home because it was so cold, and I thought that, why would people gather here? The band wasn't playing really well either, so And then about to leave, and then MC announced that there is going to be a Christmas tree lighting. So I thought, oh, well, that's why people are loud, people gathering. So we thought, we might as well wait until they light the tree. So we waited like 40 minutes in that cold weather. Felt so cold, wanted to go home, but Sue said, no. We should wait. And now she had her winter jacket on and her hoodie on. I got her everything well protected. Me, I only had like this spring green colored jacket and odd looking hat on. So I was like, I wasn't protected. She was well protected. I was like shivering. And they said it's like the biggest Christmas tree in the Western Canada, right? And I'm like, I don't care, just turn those darn Christmas tree lights on so I can go home. Finally, they turned the lights on. I must say that it was a very impressive Christmas tree. Have you been there? Have you watched it? Yeah, it's very impressive. Huge and flash, all of that, right? So we took a few photos and went straight home, shivering from cold, bloody nose, and I got my cold. And then I thought to myself, I will not go there next year, not worth it. So it's kind of, did you know that they said it was like biggest Christmas tree in whole Western Canada? I think they're lying, because did you know that in Kelowna they have a bigger Christmas tree than here? Like, there's like several story high and a highway. Have you seen that one in Kelowna? You should go there just to watch that thing. Thousands and thousands of light bulbs, like all white bulbs. Like this one here has a different decorations. In Kelowna, it's all white light bulbs. So one year I went there just to check how many light bulbs were there. And started counting the light bulbs and stopped counting after about 300 because my eyes kind of got fuzzy and blurry, and my neck got kind of stiff and all that. So I think at least there were like 10,000 light bulbs, like whole, and those light bulbs are not even like those small ones, but they're like a big light bulb. And I was kind of concerned because what if they sucking out all the electricity from Kelowna? Right? So kind of huge and flush. Well, Christmas season is upon us, folks, and it's huge and flush everywhere we look, everywhere we go. Every shopping mall we enter, every Christmas tree we see, Christmas is upon us, and it's all about big and flush everywhere. But then when you think about it, that's what we are like. We like to do things in big and flush, not just during Christmas season, but during every day of the year, isn't it? In North America, we like to do things flash and impressive, big scale, big and bigger the better. Our obsession with big and bigger things runs throughout the year. We idolize, we worship, and we desire our lives, our things that are big and bigger. We dream of making big money, living in a big house with a big yard, a big lawnmower, with the big rooms and big furniture and appliances, big garage with big toys. Guys like to marry a beautiful girl with a big and bountiful physical assets, raising big kids. And on a weekend, we drive a big car to go to a big grocery store, packing up a weekly worth of big grocery for the big family. By the way, the size of that weekly grocery that we buy, probably about 1 year worth of groceries for those living in other countries. And after that big grocery shopping, we get that big hunger, right? So we go to that big restaurant and order a big meal called Big Mac combination, and then we say, can you supersize it with 50 cents more? Do they still have supersize? After that, we come home to our big mansion, and everyone sits in front of that big home theater with the size of a small theater screen, watching through Netflix the big Hollywood blockbuster hits of the year. But before we watch it, we microwave the big-sized popcorns with 2 liters of Coca-Cola for each family member. And we repeat that big routine every weekend. In North America, we like everything big. Big and bigger the better. Supersize everything. supersizing our lives, and we like our Christmas to be big and flash. Supersized with all the flash and big Christmas trees, big Christmas shopping spree at the big shopping malls, giving big Christmas gifts, attending big Christmas parties, and having big Christmas dinners, and getting a big Christmas hangover the next day. And now this supersizing North American lifestyle has spilled into all those recently migrated, crazy, rich, young Asians. They're taking over what we North Americans started, supersizing everything. Supersizing Christmas, turning Christmas into one big, flash and expensive, supersized shopping spree. Welcome to 2019 Christmas in Vancouver, folks. Now, Christmas is not about big or flash. Just take a look at how the prophet Isaiah described the coming of the great new Messianic king, the ruler who will redeem Israel and reclaim her favored place among all nations. He doesn't describe a giant or sudden storm of flash and impressive thunder and lightning, divine power coming down from the heaven. Instead, the prophet's image starts small. The long-awaited Messiah's arrival, Messiah arrives as a shoot, a tiny, tender green sprout. Springs out of decaying stump of an old tree. There's no hint of anything grand. The Messiah's beginning is described with nothing big, nothing impressive, nothing flash, nothing like what we see on the street, inside the shopping malls, and even inside many churches during Christmas time. Nothing impressive at all, just a small shoot, small beginning. The shoot springs out of that decaying stump of an old tree. And that's a metaphor for the decaying Israel kingdom at the time, the stump of Jesse, the father of King David. It is decaying, and yet under that stump there are roots that nurtured and brought life to Jesse and the rest of Israel. The Messiah springs both from Jesse and from the divine presence that existed before Jesse, before Israel. The Messiah's roots are in God, the creator of the universe. It's these roots of divinity which enable the Spirit of the Lord to flow through this tender shoot, a spirit which brings wisdom and understanding, counsel and might, the knowledge and the fear of the Lord. Roots, stumps, spindly green shoots, and the tender new branches. None of these images are big or flash or impressive in any worldly way. They are instead a symbol of small, simple things of life and hope, and a divine presence in the midst of the people. Despite cultural appearances to the contrary, the Christmas season is not about everything big and flash. In the season of Advent, we are not preparing for the arrival of big, dazzling behemoth. We're preparing for the arrival of a small, seemingly insignificant shoot. Advent looks forward not to blinding, glittering flash, but to twinkle, twinkle, little star. Advent is about roots and shoots. Not about big spending spree and big gifts. In this Advent season, we need to Christmasize our life. To Christmasize your life means to pay attention to the small voice, the small groove, the small crack, the small table, the small talk, the small town like Bethlehem, the small change, the small children, and the little child shall lead them. To Christmasize your life means to recognize the importance of unimportance. To Christmasize your life means to start small, to pay attention to those things that are smaller than life, to sweat the small stuff. To Christmasize your life means to honor the fact that big things don't become big, only small things become big. To Christmasize your life means paying attention and celebrate the small little steps in your relationships, in your work, in your church. The greater things happen through the accumulation of small things handled with care and love. Making small promises and keeping them. To Christmasize your life means never losing that sense of awe and appreciation when we witnessed our children taking their first baby steps, that miracle first steps. And within that first steps, our hopes and love. And to Christmasize your life means hearing God say to each one of us, you dreamt to do great things, you did small things faithfully and well. Well done, good and faithful servant. In this Christmas season, let's pay attention to the small things. Let's Christmasize our life. Let's focus on the shoot that grew up. The small shoot became the hope, peace, joy, and love of the Lord, the Messiah.